Hello and welcome to Black History Alive. My name is Donna Jackson of Donna Jackson LLC and DonnaJackson.biz. Each week of Black History Month 2021, I will bring you a slice of Black history important to me. So let's get started. This week, we will explore fashion. In 2020, I published a book called Race, Poverty, and Progress, An American Paradox. In it, I explore 50 years of Black life in America, and I talk a lot about our experiences. I was born in the 60s and grew up in the 70s. Specifically, on page 128, I talked about how fashion changed and how clothing is a form of communication. I say that the aesthetic shifted. We dressed in loud colors, hues of orange, green, red. Black people wore wild clashing patterns and donned crushed velvet suits. So let's talk about fashion. Here we go. I want to open with the Runway Show at Versailles. So in 1973, I believe it was November, there was a wonderful fashion show at Versailles, that's in France, and it was monumental. If you go to YouTube, you can check out Made to Measure, and they talk about the fashion show. Here, Billy Blair, one of the principal models during that fashion show, talks about how the American models were there, but they didn't have a set designed or anything, and they had very little time to rehearse for the show. But what they did have was raw talent, and they eventually stole the show. It was the first time that Black models were prominently featured in a major fashion show. They changed the course of the fashion industry, and Billy Blair led the way. Now, let's transition from disco to the era of the supermodel. This is when I was introduced to all those famous models with one name. Let's get started. Here we have the fabulous Beverly Johnson. Beverly is a native of Buffalo, New York. She represented, and still does, sophistication. This, my friends, is Rashumba. Rashumba Williams is a native of Chicago, Illinois. She represents power. This beautiful lady, of course, is Iman. Iman was born in Mogadishu, Somalia. She represents the pinnacle of high fashion. Where would fashion be without Naomi Campbell? Naomi Campbell was born in London, United Kingdom. Naomi Campbell represents the blueprint. This beautiful lady is Veronica Webb. Veronica Webb is from Detroit, Michigan. She represents the evolution. This, of course, is the famous Tyra Banks. Tyra Banks is from Inglewood, California. Tyra represents moguldom. She shows us the limitless potential in all of us. Thank you, Tyra. Now I'd like to switch gears for a bit to spotlight designers. These African American or Black designers use their talents by combining some of the inventive ways we as Black people tend to dress up for church, for work, or for the club. Combine that with a vivid imagination, and the designs they came up with were a unique style and definitely left their mark. Before we go forward, let's go back to 1958. That is when Eunice Johnson started the Ebony Fashion Fair. Mrs. Eunice Johnson of Johnson Publications started Fashion Fair in '58, and it went on till 2009. Mrs. Eunice Johnson brought Black models, designers, and pride all around the world. Check out Mrs. Eunice Johnson, a native of Selma, Alabama. She and her family settled in Chicago, Illinois, where they founded Johnson Publications. Ebony Magazine and Jet Magazine were part of just about every Black household, and we looked at those magazines from cover to cover. It told us everything we need to know about what was going on in Black life, and she was a part of the fashion fair. She brought it to us, and it was just extraordinary. So, Mrs. Eunice Johnson, I consider a visionary. This famous man is none other than Stephen Burrows. Stephen Burrows hails from Newark, New Jersey. Stephen Burrows worked with stretchy knits and bright colors. Stephen Burrows designs. He is a master of having a unique color story and inventive pattern placement. They always complement the female form. Thank you, Stephen Burrows. This is Willie Smith of Willie Wear. Willie Smith was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Here are some examples of Willie Wear designs. Willie Smith segued us out of the 80s into the 90s with layered body skimming ensembles that allowed for movement and expression. This memorable man is Patrick Kelly. Patrick Kelly was born in Vicksburg, Mississippi. As we can see, Patrick Kelly added strategically placed embellishments to his designs that were fun, flirty, and very forward-thinking. I am Donna Jackson. I was born in Kansas City, Kansas. I too am a clothing and print designer, as well as an author, educator, and artist. These designers and many more have demonstrated excellence and made me so proud. Thank you. This concludes this edition of Black History Alive. Thank you for watching. For more information about me or any of my projects, go to donnajackson.biz. Next week, I will continue to make Black history come alive. Bye bye.